Oh, SJ's ringing me. That'll be to tell me we're live.
We're live.
Oh,
it says you're live, exclamation
Shall I answer
mark.
my phone? Is she ringing me? Oh, she's gone. Good. SJ's ringing me, everybody. Good morning. I think she's ringing me to say, you're live. You're live. We are live. We know. Hi, Jane.
Morning.
We're live, aren't we, Jane?
We are.
It's good, isn't it? I'm going to pop my laptop down there because I'm going to try and function on my phone and this. Ooh. It'll come back out. We know it will. But we've got lots on the desk, haven't we?
We have. There's a lot going on this morning. Lovely.
Yes. You've been a busy girl. Look at that.
It's gorgeous.
It's a beaut, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got two colourways. We've got that colourway and then we've got one that's a little bit more seasonal, I think.
Yes. Yes. Now, you sent us the image of this and we all went, crikey, Bobs, you've done that quick.
It's quite straightforward. It's a Elixir pattern. The instructions are great. You know, it's straightforward, easy to follow. Yeah. The longest part of this is just getting yourself au fait with the cutting. Yeah. There's a lot of cutting in it. Okay. It's simple cutting. It's not complicated, but you have to just follow it.
But you've got a method for that, I saw. There was a thing. Yes. You're very clever with this. I'm just looking at my phone in great delight because I can see it says Natasha Makes is live now.
That's good news. That is good news.
For those of you who perhaps didn't catch us yesterday, good morning, hello. There was a show yesterday, but it was a pre-recorded show because Natasha's not here this week. No. She's in Cornwall. And so we recorded a show for yesterday, last week. It was lovely, actually. It was a really, really lovely show. Lots and lots on there. So if you did miss it, you can catch it back. Just pop onto our website or YouTube to catch that one.
She made a beautiful cushion, didn't she?
She made an amazing festival elephant cushion and it was stunning. She had so much fun with it as well. It was like watching a gleeful child crafting, but with great precision. It looked stunning. It looked really great. It really did. And unfortunately, we're trying to sort of work out ways where we can load up these pre-recorded shows and you still get the notifications that we're on, because you don't always, and that's really disappointing.
There's some sort of algorithm with Facebook, isn't there? And it doesn't tell you, because it notifies on my phone. I get a notification when we're going live. Yes. But when it's a pre-recorded show, it doesn't tell me. And sometimes if you're busy, you don't quite remember. Yes. And I think that was the problem yesterday. But also, as an added annoyance yesterday, it didn't show up on the actual Facebook page. It just showed up with a button you needed to press that sent you to our website. So for those who thought perhaps there wasn't a show yesterday, there was. You can catch it up. It's on our website, natashamakes.com, and it's on our YouTube as well at Natasha Makes. But do catch that up because it was lovely. The demo was great. Tash was on really good form. She also, I mean, we all have a foot in mouth moment. Hers was spectacular, to the point where we've had quite a few messages saying that you haven't laughed as hard in a really long time. So that's always good to hear. Isn't it? That's what we need.
It's amazing a good laugh. To hear. That's what we want. But I'm going to go on here now. Okay. See if we've got people. Who's here. Oh, we have. People can see us, including your mum.
Hi, Mum.
Here we go. Lisa says, morning, lovelies, with lots of E's. Morning.
Morning.
Jan's with us, and Jenny, and Claire Angelina, and Jackie says, morning, girls.
Nice.
I like being girls.
You,
she says, beautiful quilt.
It is.
You're not wrong. She's got another colourway that I've seen the prep, and it's looking amazing. So exciting. Oh, here we go. Anne says, good morning, ladies. Going to catch up later. Please, when you're going to do bloopers, can you give a warning? Then I'll make sure I'm not drinking my tea.
Yes, I could imagine that was a spit as heaven come down your nose moment.
I was crying laughing, and last night I started again and I just couldn't stop. So yes, if you do need a good laugh, yesterday's show, it's only an hour long actually. Yes. I mean, you know, we were concise. It was good. But right near the end, at the point at which I can't reasonably say we should re-record this because it's not appropriate, she did say something she probably shouldn't have said and didn't realise, which made it even funnier for me.
I don't think it was, it's, you know, it's the way your mind works sometimes, isn't it?
Yes. I'm just going to say I'm really glad we're not on proper telly.
No.
Because Ofcom would have been a little bit upset.
They'd have been a bit upset.
They would. Pam says, good morning, lovelies. I found you on YouTube yesterday. If ever you can't find us on Facebook, if ever, then always check YouTube, or more to the point, that YouTube is embedded into our website. So if you go to natashamakes.com and click the Watch Live page, if you can't find the show on Facebook, you'll find us over there. On YouTube, you'll find us as well, but you'll find us with a bit of chat. Not as many viewers chat on YouTube as do on here on Facebook.
No, I think it's because we chat more, don't we? Because we've got it on Facebook on here to keep an eye on who's here and everything, and then we chat back. So I don't think the chat is there so much on YouTube.
But perhaps pop over there. If ever there isn't a feed through on the Facebook, go onto YouTube, because you'll find some others who like a natter. They'll have perhaps popped over onto YouTube. You might find your pals on there, because we are a little community here.
Definitely.
And there's a lot of pals that get together and chat. Oh, Leslie Freeman says, good morning, I'm here today. Ooh, that looks wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
It does. I also did a little live yesterday to try and explain to those of you who couldn't find the show how to find it. And I did on last week's quilt a little, look, come here, because I was on my phone and I could show all the close-up detail of Jane's quilting. She's a clever old stick, I tell you. Looks beautiful.
I've said before, when I get to do somebody else's pattern, I get to spend a little bit more time practicing my quilting.
Yeah.
It's just a filigree on that one, but again,
I love it.
Just helps me keep a consistent stitch length, and
I love it, Jane.
It's good practice.
I know, I always have the fear when I need to do this.
Yeah.
I have the fear, because you spend so long piecing, don't you? And then it's that whole, so I end up straight line quilting like a wuss. I will do this at some point. I need to just practice on things.
There's nothing wrong with straight line quilting.
No, I know, but this looks amazing.
Yeah.
Mind you, straight line quilted, this would look great as well. And I'm sure at the end you'll talk about different ways you could quilt it.
Yeah.
And if not, Jane, you're going to have to think about that right now, because I've just pushed you under the bus.
No, I will. We'll go through a little bit about the quilting.
Stuff. Jane says, good morning all. Heading back from sunny Devon to leafy Berkshire today, so I'll have to catch up later. You'll find us. You will. You will.
Be there.
Oh, Claire Angelina says, for a pre-record, it will say, Natasha Makes uploaded a video about 5 hours after it was on. Well, you'll find us. Oh, and Elizabeth Crangle didn't get a notification this morning. Auntie Lizzie, I did.
I don't know what. There's all sorts of things going on, isn't there?
I think following our page and clicking when the events are queued up onto Facebook, clicking to say that you are interested in that event, you're more likely to get the notification come up.
Yeah.
We have got people working on this, trying to break the code and make it easier for you all. Oh,
I think the thing is as well, we just think we've got it sorted, and then they go and change the algorithm, don't they? They keep updating things and changing
They like to make our lives difficult. That's what it. Look at us both having a quick drink. Genevieve says, hello, hi girls from Australia.
Oh,
hi. It's not morning there, you know.
No, it's late evening, night time. Should be in bed. No, I think
she'll come back and say it's 8 p.m. I don't need to be in bed.
I was going to say, shouldn't generalise, should we? Because I expect it's different places, different times.
Absolutely. Oh, Becky says, more fabulousness and shenanigans. Love it. Absolutely. We'll make sure you get both. Oh, look, loads and loads. Oh, Viv says she's ready to be amazed. Oh. Here we go, Jane. No pressure. No pressure. Excellent. Oh, there's lots of lovely comments. Oh, and Leslie says she always watches on YouTube as Facebook always freezes. Well, you know, each individual person has different experiences, don't they? But when I used to watch at home before I was here, tapping, and
was
then
there a time before you were here? I don't remember that.
I know. That COVID lockdown. Yeah, COVID lockdown when I wasn't allowed out.
You have to be careful.
Months and months I was locked in my house.
Yes.
I'd have the door open and any neighbour that went past would shout in and go, do you need anything? Can I take anything to the post office? And I'd have a bag or a basket on the doorstep. That please. That was my debit card. Just scan it and then I'll wipe it with disinfectant when you get back. It's one of those times in your life you're never going to forget, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. It's crazy time.
But when I was locked in, those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings, my alarm was set and I was downstairs and I'd put Natasha Makes on YouTube on the telly. I'd have the Facebook in my hand, and then I could do the comments, but I could watch it on the big telly.
Yes.
It's nice that. I enjoyed that. So yes, you know, some of you do that. It works for you. Oh, here we go. Lots and lots and lots of things going on. Lovely quilt behind you, says Sue. Oh, here we go. Lizzie Crangle does the same.
Yes.
Oh, Genevieve says she's not going to bed yet because it's 7 p.m.
Oh, well, it's plenty of time then. You've only just had your tea.
Oh, dear. Yes, and they're all saying it's on at 7 p.m. in Australia. Good time. Well, I'm glad you think 7 p.m. is a good time. And those of you who are here in that there UK, if you like the idea of a 7 p.m.-ish show, we're starting a little series on a Thursday evening.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Starts tomorrow. You might not get that one queue up on the Facebook as well because it's been set up the same way as yesterday's show. So 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. It's gin o'clock with me and John. That's what it is.
Oh gosh, there'll be no shenanigans then, will there? No.
John Master Mischief himself and my little slightly weary and nervous self will be presenting tomorrow evening. We've done a pre-recorded series. Starts at 6:30 tomorrow, and it's the Tilda embroidery quilt series.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So if you bought that kit, this is your chance to watch step by step, and it's a weekly thing on a Thursday evening for 5 weeks, I think it is. Takes us through to just before October half term. But yeah, 6:30, me and John. And this week's going to be all your prep, your cutting and planning it all out. So
exciting.
But even if you didn't buy that kit, it's a really lovely series to watch because it teaches you how to plan out your projects, top tips of all sorts of things really, cutting basics, but also how to use Fleecelina Quilter's grid, which is clever stuff, Jane.
It is. It makes life a lot easier.
Now, you are a piecing pro, but for those who are perhaps a bit nervous with their quilting or want something that's a bit more foolproof,
yes, it's really good.
It's a great thing to use.
We all love something that makes life easier, and Quilter's Grid certainly does.
Or if you just want to watch me being terrorised by John whilst you're having a gin on a Thursday evening at 6:30, then that's where you'll find us.
Yes.
That's their website on a Thursday. Oh, Tash is around.
Morning.
Morning. She says, how are you all? I'm assuming she means the viewers and not us.
Yes.
She knows how we are. We've got lots to show though, Jane. I hardly know where to start. I think we do kits last.
Yes.
We've got bolt ends.
Yeah, there's
We've
some
got
lovely
half
bolt
metre
ends
heavens. Should we do the half metre heavens first?
Let's do that because I think that's what people are used to, the half metre heavens.
They are.
Some gorgeous things.
We'll address these top ones last for reasons I shall explain in a moment. But first, actually, I've got to repeat. This was last week. This is Brassica Dark with purple, and it disappeared, and there was much remorse. I hate some remorse.
Yes, people that missed out.
Oh, I do love you all, but when you don't buy what you want straight away, and then you message me going, oh, if I can't repeat it, I get very upset. But I can this one, so I have. There's also a little bit left on the bolt, so for anyone who fell in love with this fabric when they ordered it, and want to buy some meterage, I have now loaded that by the half metre. But this purple just sets this off beautifully,
doesn't it? It's a gorgeous colourway, that is.
It's stunning. I mean, we have looked at this last week. We won't dwell. But if you are loving that fabric, the remainder of the bolt is up by the half metre today. And that one's actually live on today's show as well, because it was one that we had last week. The rest that I'll be showing you now, these go live at midnight. This is Paisley Rose by Crystal Manning for Moda. Lovely quality cloth, isn't it, Moda?
Beautiful.
We love that. And this is the floral, large floral in golden. And that's our Baltic, isn't it?
Yeah, and that just sets off these.
We chose one each, didn't we, Jane? Because we've done two of these. So I chose the Baltic. And then we've got another half metre heaven with the same fabric. And Jane chose this here hot tomato. So if you wanted, you could get both of the half metre heavens. You'd get 2 half metres of your print and these two here.
That's a quilt.
It is. Always thinking, aren't we, Jane?
Well, we
always thinking.
We do like to give you the option.
It's a lovely print, this, though.
It's beautiful. It's a lovely fabric. It's nice and...
Be fab for like a shopping bag or a beach bag as well, something really nice and vibrant to carry that around with your jeans and what have you. But we've got Lisa Chandler show today, so it seems a bit wrong not to do Lisa Chandler fabrics. And as you know, they are off the scale, different standard.
With the metallics in as well, they're beautiful. Yeah.
Now that one there, that's our small floral. We put that this time with sage.
Which is lovely. It just lifts the little bit of green that's in there and sets off the orange coloured of the little flowers beautifully.
It does, doesn't it?
It's lovely, very classical.
And the thing you don't see with the Lisa on the overhead actually is the texture that you get through it as well. I don't know if we just go close up for a second, Jane, actually. Yeah. I think that might be a wise move. Because there we go, perhaps you can see. I don't even know as the camera picks it up as it should. But the metallic finish you can see there. But there is, to that background, there is...
Yeah, the cream here that has got a lovely variegation to it. So it's not a flat background. It's got texture to the background colour.
It's shadows, almost shadows where the flowers are to make them look like they lift out of the fabric a little. Those of you who bought this will know. And Lisa's fabrics quite often do that.
The base cloth of Lisa's fabric is absolutely gorgeous. It's a really lovely base cloth to start with.
It is. One of
and
the
then
first
the quality
things I
of
noticed,
the printing is excellent.
Yeah. When I first started sewing with Lisa's fabric, the thing I noticed was just how it behaves so beautifully. There's no fraying on it, and it holds its shape so well.
It's a really tightly woven.
It is.
And so there's hardly any movement when you're sewing with it. You know, it's not going to stretch or distort.
No.
Even without best press or flatter on it. It's gorgeous. I love that with the is that paprika?
I think that is actually, yes. I flipped the label over. Oh, there you go, Jane. Well done you. Well done you, Jane. Well done you. Natasha says she's joining us this morning while slow stitching some show prep. Lovely to see everybody. Well, that's nice. Nothing like having the Bosch watching you, eh?
Yeah, no pressure.
Now this is a special one.
I love this one. It's such a pretty fabric.
Do. This here, look, Under the Aussie Sun. That's their fabulous feature print, floral print with blush. Now we had some of this in a kit with a sparkly turquoise PU for the square drawstring pouch, and it disappeared. It was one of SJ's Friday deals, I believe, and it just went at a rate of knots. I am able to bring that bundle back just today only, and I have put that up. That is live now. This Half Meter Heaven, as the others we've shown you, they go live at midnight, but that bundle with the PU, the turquoise PU, if you want it, it will disappear tonight at midnight. Like Cinderella's coach. Oh. Got another small floral here, Jane.
This is really pretty. This is, well,
beautiful delicacy to this.
Silver with rose, don't they call it?
I know, and I can't see the rose.
No, but it's tone on tone silver. It's beautiful. It's got silver metallic on it. The grain tones of the small flower. The background fabric, it looks ivory, but it's got a very soft tinge of grey to it. It really is pretty.
It has. And silver metallic through it is just stunning. Like, it bounces off. Yeah. We will go into close-up in a second, but first I want to show this one at the same time because, for my money, look at these together.
Yeah, the pink and
silver.
This is
the other small floral. And this one we have put with magenta.
So you can put those together.
Lovely.
Again, and make a lovely project.
Well, if you love one, you're going to love both, aren't you?
Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous.
I think we just bring this one up and we go into that there close up. Let's see if we can get some. Yeah, there you go. You can see the metallic.
The metallic is not flat. It's got like a shimmer to it. It is really lovely. I'm not going to say it's glittery because that makes it sound.
No, it really isn't. It's got.
It's just a shimmer, and it really does when it catches the light. It's got a real
looks amazing under eye. You can see right at the top of the screen up near our logo, look.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, sparkly does make it sound cheap, doesn't it, somehow? But it's just not. It's got an amazing elegance to it. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, it's not a bad job, is it, Jane, hey?
No, it's, yeah.
What do you do, Philip? Well, I wave beautiful fabric around.
Yeah, I get to work with wonderful fabric all the time.
Terrible job. Awful. Tell you what else is not awful at all is our beautiful Llama Fiesta. We've brought this to you as a Half Meter Heaven in a different colourway before, and it was much loved. This, however, is the eggplant. And that there is cardinal, I believe.
Yes, it just pulls out. There's an element of red within the fabric, and it just pops that element and lifts it slightly. It's lovely. It's such good fun. It'll make a great bag.
What a fab bag! It would be really fabulous bag or cushion. Yeah, just brilliant. This eggplant colourway's brilliant as well. It's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Love, 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 love. Now something that's a little bit special. We've not had this cut to order even. This is from the Orkney Collection, William Morris. Look at that.
That's classical, isn't it? Isn't
it's called Theodosia. Now, Theodosia, I have loaded this by the half metre as well. So this Half Meter Heaven, which has gone with a duck egg, look at that. Will go live at midnight, but the fabric itself I have put up cut to order. It is
There's elements around the flowers here of this bluey grey, which the duck egg picks up beautifully. It really does. There's little birds here sitting in the branches.
Just stunning, isn't it? Just stunning.
Beautiful, beautiful fabric.
It's difficult to see on the overhead, but that colour is just perfect with that plain.
Yeah.
It really does pick it out beautifully.
It does.
But I love the tone of this red background.
Yes.
I really love it.
It's not terracotta, and it's not. It's like a brick red, isn't it, really?
It's just beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's really elegant, isn't it? Natasha's just made a very valid point. You know, she'll just be here to do that so that, you know, we don't forget the important details.
Oh, excuse me, bless me.
You're sneezing, Jane.
Sneezing and trying not to.
That's the quietest sneeze I've ever heard in my life.
Yes. I'm trying not to.
She's made a very valid point.
Does she?
Apart from the fact that she's made samples of the square drawstring bag in other colourways that she's going to post on Facebook later. See, this is the thing. Now that she's not here all the time and she's away some of the time, she actually gets on and sews things because she's not dragged down in the operational side of the business. But she did also say that she doesn't often half meter heaven Lisa's fabric, and this is very true. So if you love them, it really is worth getting those now for sure.
And the half meter, if you're not sure about it and you don't know, you know, you want to try the quality, see how it looks, getting it as a half meter heaven's a brilliant way of doing it.
Absolutely. Then Jane, we had a bit of a moment.
This fabric came in yesterday and it
those
was just
were
like,
our half meter heavens. That was our, good. We've done our half meter heavens, all organised. And then beautiful fabrics came in from Ruby Star. The Ruby Star Society for Moda. Oh, this is the Elixir Collection.
We're loving this.
I am going to go into overhead because you have to see this. Look at that selvage. Gorgeous. Melody Miller's designed this one. I mean, look at this. This is called Forager. We have Forager in 2 colourways. And again, I've loaded these cut to order. I will explain why I keep banging on about everything being cut to order in a moment because it's quite relevant. But that is Forager on black with black. That's the half meter heaven that will go up tonight. If you can't wait till then and you must have meterage of this fabric, perhaps you want quite a bit of it, couldn't blame you. It's beautiful. Then we do have the cut to order. But we also have it on smoke. Look at that.
That's a beautiful colour. It's almost greeny.
Yes.
We tried it with our teal and it was just a little bit too grey. It didn't quite work. Izzy and I have had fun with this morning. So we've gone with, is it Misty Blue that we went with in the end?
We tried. I think it's duck egg, you know.
It might be duck egg again.
It'll say on the label, Jane. There we go. I'm sure it's a duck egg.
We looked at Misty Blue and it wasn't quite right. No. So yeah, the duck egg just worked lovely with it. It just lifts this lovely grey blue tone around the top of the mushrooms there.
Yes, Natasha did this to us this morning where she went, oh, we've got to have half meter heavens of those. I said, Natasha, we've done all our show prep. We're so organised. Come on. She said, nope, sorry, those have got to go. So, and she's again, quite right.
You could choose.
You need to see them.
The 2 sets of those, and they blend beautifully. You can get a really nice.
We haven't half meter heaven the entire collection of these. We haven't. Cool. Very important to say because there are 9 fabrics that we've cherry picked from this collection that we have on cut to order. It's only 4 of the fabrics that we have half meter heavened.
I love this one. I'm going to have to get some of this and make something. I don't know what I'm going to make, but I'm going to make something with it. It's just lovely.
Well, this is Daydream and Smoke. And again, you've done 2 of these, haven't you? So you've put one with the duck egg.
Yeah.
Because this,
it picks up the stems and this lovely pale grey on the back.
And again, the same, but you've put that time with peach.
Yeah.
And that looks amazing. It's perfect.
The tops of the mushrooms again. And you know, the combination of the 2 works really well.
Absolutely.
It's just a lovely fabric. And again, it's Moda. The quality of the base cloth is beautiful. Lovely. And this is metallic. This rose gold here is a metallic on here, on the accents of the frills of the mushrooms. It's beautiful.
It's just, and these colours that you've chosen are absolutely perfect. I love them.
This is Izzy. Izzy chose these this morning.
She's done a cracking job.
She's done a brilliant job.
You know, that there girl who's got better qualifications in fabric than we have.
Yeah, well, she's properly qualified, isn't she?
She is.
She's got the proper qualifications.
And then we just faff about with fabric and pretend we know what we're doing. Oh, it's all good. This is from the same collection, Elixir. This is the only other one that we've half meter heavened. Again, the half meter heavens are a midnight situation. Oh, look at that with it.
That's azalea, I think.
It is, I think. Beautiful. That is absolutely perfect to pick out these accents here, isn't it?
Does.
And it just lifts everything else off that dark base cloth.
We tried it with the green and it just flattened the whole thing. So we decided the pink tones were what would lift it, and it actually lifts that lovely blue as well.
And throughout this collection, that gorgeous copper metallic detail is just present everywhere, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Just lovely. So I will actually very quickly, Jane, just mention that we have got 9 of those fabrics. I have said it, but we need to see it.
They're behind me.
They're behind you, Jane. So
look at this one here. There's some beautiful ditzy prints. There's
this one called... These are the half-metre heaven ones, aren't they?
Yeah, this one's called Decanter, and it's got decanters and glasses. It's really good fun. It's beautiful.
It has.
Should we get that down and put it on an overhead?
Yes,
that is it's such a fun fabric. You could make napkins for your dining table for the
I just think this is so decadent.
Should we go closer?
Amazing, wouldn't it, on your yeah, look at that. You can really see that metallic finish now. Oh, it's annoyingly beautiful. The studio lights wash that background fabric a little.
Dark grey with almost a greeny teal tone to it. Very classy.
It's
and
beautiful.
This metallic sort of rose gold copper effect. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I just think that's going to make so many lovely, interesting projects with that.
It will.
There's some really nice accents to go with the main fabrics there. They're just lovely. This is almost a quilt design in itself.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
It's an optical illusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got such depth to it, but my favourite one's coming in a moment. Oh, that's lovely. Yes.
This, I think I'm in agreement with you. This is lovely.
This is the one. Look at this. This is called Wavelength, and I am more than a little bit in love with it. For me, imagine that on a sashing. Just be perfect,
you can do something
wouldn't it?
With your binding with that as well.
Oh, gorgeous. Natasha's saying she's going to make napkins out of the whole range. I think yes, and yes.
This is beautiful. I can see I can see tops. I was going to say gentleman's shirt, but actually I quite like a shirt made out of this.
No, exactly.
It's beautiful.
Make a lovely high neck tank as well, wouldn't it? Really lovely.
Really lovely.
Beautiful
fabrics.
So these are up by the half metre. And the reason I'm mentioning the fact that I've got some of these up cut to order, and the reason I've gone to the effort of doing that, is because over the weekend we did set up a promotion. For those of you who purchased our new cave collection, you will have seen there was a brilliant incremental offer on it. So if you purchased a half metre or 2 or 3 or 6, or it went up as you bought more fabric.
Yeah.
So your discount increased. So it started out at 5, 10, and then if you were buying 6 half metres or more, you got 20% off that cave collection, that new Cave Facet Collective collection. That has now ended, that promotion. It had to end at some point, Jane.
Well, we ran it for a week. Come to an end, don't they?
Absolutely. But then we decided, because so many of you contacted us and said thank you. There was people saying, I wanted to choose between this, this and this. And actually my husband said to me, well, look, if it's 20% off, you might as well do that and have all of them.
Yes.
We love to hear that.
Yes.
Makes dreams come true. But several just said, thank you, I've been able to stash build, and it's been really helpful to have that 20%. So we thought we'd very quietly put that promotion across our cut to order fabrics with a few select exclusions, but they are few, very few.
Yes.
The majority of our cut to order was included. Our plains were on there. So, if you're buying at least 6 half metres of fabric, and it could be, you're buying 6 half metres of one, or it could be you're buying 6 individual half metres, it didn't matter. And you use the code, then you're getting 20% off.
That's a good way of getting your quilt backings as well, isn't it? 6 half metres is 3 metres, which is quilt backing.
But it ran over the weekend, and it ran on Monday, and it ended midnight Monday. And then yesterday, I had those remorseful messages that tug at my heartstrings, Jane. And there were a lot of people saying that, understandably, they'd had a difficult weekend, they'd clocked off, and they just spent their weekend paying their respects, and especially Monday, just didn't really engage with social media or any kind of shopping, etc., which we understand, and that's why we hadn't forcefully pushed and promoted that hard to let you know it was there. We just quietly put it up in case anyone wanted to shop. And so I rang SJ yesterday morning, sorry SJ, and I said, how difficult would it be to put this back up? And she has for yesterday and today. It will end tonight at midnight. So if there is cut to order fabric that you've had your eye on for a little while and you want to purchase, and that includes this new collection here, Elixir, and also the Gator fabrics that I shall show you in a moment, then they're included. So fill your boots.
Nice.
And the codes are on the website. SJ will possibly put that up for you so that you will understand that as well. Look at this. Gemma, your hair is fabulous, capital letters.
It is.
That's John. And Tash says, I look like a medieval princess. I don't feel like a medieval princess
Take it as a compliment.
Thank you. One more half metre heaven to show you. And this is actually, I'm going to say, my favourite of the new fabrics, and there's no metallic on it.
No.
I know, but I love it dearly, Jane.
It's a fun fabric.
It has gators on it. Look, I'm going to swoop them around because they're the wrong way up. Look at these. This is Sarah Watts, I think, for Ruby Star. Yep. Look at this. I love it.
Beautiful.
Look at the gators. And this is the only one we have in a cotton. This is from her, I think it's Florida Volume 2 collection. We've put that one with lavender, which just picks out these little details in the middle of the flowers.
Yeah.
Just looks really lovely with it.
It's really good fun.
It's really good fun. I want a bag.
Yeah, that would make
we keep
a
saying
lovely
want a bag.
bag.
How many bags do we want?
But you can never have enough bags,
shopping
can you?
bags, no.
No.
Definitely no. But that one there is available by the half metre and will be in this beautiful half metre heaven at midnight. However, we don't just have that in a cotton, Jane. We also have some canvas. Do you want a hand?
I can manage.
You're going to bring those over, aren't you? Oh, I'm going to leave it in the overhead so that you guys can have a look. This is Gator Canvas.
I love that. I love that sort of spicy orangey colour. But this, look at this. This is classic. The
It's
greys
amazing.
And the black. That is just so lovely.
It's brilliant, isn't it? I'm actually now on my laptop, Jane, because I'm just checking that the Gator Canvas did go live. It was one of the last things I did before we went to air, was press the button on that.
Look at that. I love this. This
Brilliant.
Is zingy.
And the canvases are included in our promotion, you know.
But I can see soft furnishing in this.
Yes.
This is lovely.
Imagine doing a footstool in this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It's such a good fun.
I kind of want to get a footstool, paint the legs black.
Yes.
And just go with this as the upholstery. Yeah. Look amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they're more than suitable for that.
Absolutely.
More than suitable for that.
Strong. I was going to say thick canvas. It's not thick canvas. It's a sturdy canvas. Because you wouldn't really want to make quilts with it. It's probably a little bit too heavy for quilt making. But definitely your bags, soft furnishings.
Yeah. Or
beautiful.
A jacket, Jane.
Roman blinds.
Oh yeah, blinds would be amazing, wouldn't they? Yeah. Downstairs loo. Yes, please. Can you imagine?
It's super. Really
I'm stroking
good fun.
the fabric again. Sorry,
really
everybody. If it's setting the camera off funny, we did have somebody email, bless her, and say, Gemma, can you stop stroking all the fabrics because it makes the camera go blurry. Oh, I have to remember this, but I get very excited.
Well, we do love them.
I don't feel too bad because I know you and Natasha do as well. It's not just
It's very
me.
hard not to stroke fabric.
There we go.
I think it's virtually impossible.
The Gator canvases are there as well. Just
Wonderful.
making sure they're in the right place,
Yes.
Jane. Shall we breathe for a moment?
Yeah, just a moment. Have a drink. Have a swig of your tea.
You did ask, didn't you, for plenty of loveliness and shenanigans. So yes. We've got promotions that we've extended that weren't supposed to be. We've got new fabrics up that, strictly speaking, shouldn't be up yet, but we couldn't wait. And we've got some bolt ends.
There's some gorgeous bolt ends in here.
Explain where the bolt ends came from, Jane. Why did that come about, Jane?
Because I'm lazy.
Lazy, Jane. Lazy.
Yeah, I think that's basically what it boils down to, is the fact that I couldn't be bothered to chop it up into half metres.
Now, Jane,
there was a bolt that had got quite a large amount on, and Natasha said to me, "Can we cut this into half metres for the for a promotion we were doing?" And I started doing it, and I got to about 12 half metres. And I'm like, there's about 3 metres left on here. I thought, I'm going to ask Natasha if I can have this for quilt backing for sampling.
Yes.
And I said it to her, and I said, I think some of our customers might like discounted fabric, 3 metres or more for quilt backing.
Who wouldn't?
Bolt ends, they come really handy. Sometimes you need a good piece for borders, backing.
Yeah. I've already had to pull some of these out because I see they've sold.
Yes.
I'm not the only person who's seeing an opportunity here, and you're not the only person who's seeing an opportunity here. There's no lazy person in our team. I couldn't wish for a harder working bunch, says Natasha.
Bless her. There's an ombre here, look. This is a rainbow ombre. This is Lewis and Irene. Small Things, Polar Animals. And this is Northern Lights. How cool will that be on the back of a quilt? It goes through.
It's gorgeous. Now this one, I don't know that it's been loaded yet. SJ's squirreling away. So if any of these you're looking for and you think they're not loaded, it might be that SJ is still loading them. Or it might be that they've just sold really fast.
You might not want to use this as a backing because the options you've got there, look, for cutting that. You've got all those colours within that piece of fabric. That is going to be a really good piece to have in your...
Oh, I really want to frock out of this.
Bag linings. Bag linings and stuff like that.
And that's another point though, Jane. We don't just have to use these for quilting. If you want to buy them and make a frock.
No, there's nothing wrong with...
We'd love to see the pictures.
Oh, we love seeing what you've made. It's lovely.
Yeah.
That is a 3 metre piece. So that's ideal.
It's
good
a
for your
beauty.
stash. There's some O'Deal left here. This again, it's just the last bits left on the bolt. Look at this. This is Masked Bandit. I love this fabric.
Oh, do you know,
there's a little mice on it.
We did a few half-metre heavens in this the other week, didn't we? And it was just lovely. These are so cute. And you've got
the colourways in this. It's lovely pink and teal. It's beautiful.
And every time you look, you see them somewhere different. Yeah. Or you see some other little detail there. She's a genius, that O'Deal, you know.
I love her artistry.
She's a clever lady.
What is that? 1.4. So not a huge piece, but still, you know, makes cushions. That's all. When it's gone, it's gone.
Absolutely.
This is some more O'Deal Land Art.
Land Art's the collection.
Yeah, gathering. Offerings.
Yeah, offerings.
Look at that.
Love it.
Again, I think this would make a lovely shirt.
It would.
You know, you could have fun with that.
And again,
you could have fun with this in borders.
I was going to say it'd be
great. You could go that way, or you could go that way, and you'd have really nice effects. And again, a bag. Look at that, just, you know, with the stripes going down.
Amazing,
beautiful.
Isn't it?
It's a nice chunky piece, that is.
Really
4
chunky
metres.
piece.
4 metres on there.
Beautiful.
There's a little bit of Christmas there. Lewis and Irene, 2.4 metres of the 12 days.
Now, let's not underestimate the use of a backing for a Christmas quilt. If I make a quilt as a gift, what's it for? 9 times out of 10, it's a Christmas quilt, because the one time you can guarantee people want to snuggle under a quilt is Christmas.
Well, yes.
That is brilliant because it's so neutral as well, isn't it?
It makes a brilliant backing, that would.
And I love it. I love the little milkmaid. And just
you could
gorgeous.
Even if you didn't want to make a quilt with this, if you're not really into your quilting but you like crafting with fabrics, this would make a nice table centre.
It really would.
You could hem this into a square in the middle of your table.
I was about to say placemats, Jane, as well.
Matching placemats or napkins.
Napkins, gorgeous.
They'd be lovely, wouldn't they?
And
absolutely
really nice
super.
And neutral. So when you're gifting, because that's the only other thing I worry about when I'm making a Christmas quilt is you don't know what colour scheme people go for in their Christmas or in their house in general. This very neutral. Oh, look at this one.
This is lovely.
This is a zingy one.
Sassy summer salsa. Start saying that with your
teeth in, Jane, teeth in. Have a go.
Sunflowers. Beautiful purples and pinks and red tones in there with the yellow. Really lovely. That's a 3 metre piece. That would make a nice backing of a quilt. You could make cushions with that.
Brilliant.
Summer bags. Absolutely lovely.
I can see fastest finger first on some of these bolt ends. I see you, everybody.
This is a bit of Tilda here.
Well done, you.
Daisy Field pink. Look at that. It's 3.5 metre piece there of Tilda. You just want that for your stash.
A cracking discount, absolutely.
That is just lovely. We love Tilda's fabric. I love the Daisy Field.
We're going to need to lie down after all of this.
I know.
And we haven't even started the demo yet.
Crikey, we're going to be here forever.
Crikey Bob.
This is a bit of Lewis and Irene.
I absolutely adore this.
Hummingbirds.
We had this in 3 colourways, and it's the hibiscus hummingbird mono print. Just lovely, isn't it?
This is the last bit of the tulip tango. This is Moda fabric, but I just wanted to put those 2 fabrics together because look at that.
I do love a bit of lime green and pink.
That's lovely. There's butterflies on this.
Yeah, there is.
Little tiny sketchy butterflies.
It's only just over 1 metre, that one, and that's literally all we've got left. It was
that'll make beautiful bag linings, pouch linings. Really lovely. Just that little zingy accent of the lime.
There's a story to the next fabric, Jane. This has not been on our website. We had this set aside for a project and it's ended up being that it lost its position in the schedule. I could have loaded it cut to order and I haven't. I've just gone straight in with bolt ending.
I think we had several bolts with a little bits on, which is why we've actually got 3 pieces. There's a 3 metre piece.
And we were going to do a specific project. So it hasn't come off and it's lost its schedule time. So I could have loaded this full price and I'm 99% sure it would have flown out. I can see we've already sold some of these. It's
a spot. It's a metallic silver spot on this beautiful,
should we close up it, Jane?
Dove blue grey.
Here we go. Silver spot on silver, I think, is what Lewis and Irene called it.
Look at that.
It's just so adaptable and so beautiful.
Christmas napkins, table centres.
Don't tell Natasha. Oh, she's watching as well, isn't she? It's not even like I can say, don't tell Natasha that I haven't given this a fair chance at full price. I've just gone straight in with the with the bolt ends. Whoops!
There's 3 pieces, all different sizes. If you get that, that's really worth it. This is the other one. This is like it's silver texture on silver. It almost has got, it's printed, but it's like a linen.
It looks like a linen, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's printed. It's not a linen.
No, it's not.
It's cotton. The effect of the silver metallic on there gives it that linen effect.
So it's got that linen effect, but you can still use it in your quilting. You're going to get that lovely textured look, but without that heavy weight of a linen. It's going to be great for that.
It's beautiful.
We have Helen saying, good morning from Northern Ireland. Good morning. So Sylv says, every time I say crikey Bob's, caption says cranky Bob.
We all have a
might
cranky
be Jane's
Bob.
new name.
Yeah, that could be me.
She's had a busy old week as Jane. She's not been cranky, but she should be. At times.
I a tired person.
You're really tired. You had a right old gallivant at the weekend. Let's show this fabric and then you can tell everyone all about it.
I'll tell you all about my adventures. This is another Lewis and Irene. This is the digitally printed rainbow pastel.
Sold.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I'm a little bit miffed. If it's you that bought it, well done, but you've broken my heart. I wanted that one.
That's lovely. This,
as Inga would say, I've had my chance.
Yeah.
And I need to just let that go now. Belongs to somebody else. It's not mine.
This print, this is the 12 Days of Christmas. This is holly on cream.
It is.
This is the sort of fabric that you would want in your stash because it's a classical holly print that will go with anything. You can access it with any plain red or any red fabric that you've got.
It's a classic.
It'll make napkins, table centres, reusable crackers.
Oh yes, I love my reusable crackers.
Any sort of project. It's a lovely scale of print. That 3 meters of that.
Lovely.
Loads of stuff you can do with that. Amazing.
Can't go wrong with that.
And then we've got this beautiful moda. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is Holly Taylor. Wild Iris. Grasses. Look at that. That is beautiful.
I do love this. This is in their Loddon green.
That's going to make, I can see, I mean, I know we're probably not sitting out in our gardens as much now, although some of these September evenings are beautiful.
Really lovely.
With the late sun.
My dahlias are in full flow as well, so I am making sure I go outside. Blankets or big, my festival jumper. Yeah, one I had on yesterday.
I love that jumper.
Oh yes. I'm out there watching the world go by in the garden.
That would make beautiful garden cushions.
Beautiful. The bees are still buzzing around,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're loving the dahlias. They are, Jane.
That is gorgeous. I love that colourway.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? So yes, bolt ends galore.
Yes.
Fabrics galore. There are many other items that we have had in our Friday deals as well that I was exhausted yesterday, wasn't I? I spent a lot of day on the phone and just trying to restock on some of the really fabulous things that we got in for the Friday deals because, again, people missed out and then they were sad. I don't like it when you're sad.
No, we don't like
I think they know to pull at the heartstrings.
Yes.
So, yes, if there was something you wanted and it sold out, give me a shout. I'll see what I can do. But if it's there now, because I've managed to restock it, get it while you can, because it breaks my heart when you can't get what you want.
No.
But yes, Jane, you were off gallivanting around that there London this weekend.
Yes, it was... you
were going anyway, weren't you?
It was strange circumstance. We were going... Glenn had bought me for my birthday tickets to the theatre to see The Drifters Go, which was fabulous. And I said to him, Glenn loves me. He loves me dearly. He does. And he looks after me wonderfully. But I think he thinks I'm quite bonkers.
Thanks.
I think he knows I am. And I said to him, you know, while we're there, can we go on in the queue to pay our respects to the Queen? And he was like, are you mad? I was like, well, we can go to the theatre. We go straight after. And at this point, he's looking at the digital tracker thing and he's saying, you know, it's 24 hours. We've got a hotel booked for the night. We've got train tickets back the next day. Part of the gift for my birthday. I said, oh, we'll be fine. We'll be back in time for the train. Anyway, he said to me, look, now if you want to do this, we'll do it, but we can't go to the theatre. And I was like, oh, but I really want to go to the theatre. We could go after. And he was like, you're crazy. We went afterwards. We went to the theatre.
You mean you got your own way?
I got my own way.
Kelsey
Always do. He's so good to me. We went to the theatre, had a wonderful time. It was a brilliant show. If you ever get the chance to see Drifters, go. If you love Drifters music, you'll love it. Mm-hmm. We got in the queue and we queued for just under 13 hours to pay our respects to the Queen, which was a wonderful, fabulous, amazing experience. Chance of a lifetime. Worth doing. My feet are killing me still. But it was still lovely. Really uplifting. Lovely to meet people within the queue. People from different ages, different backgrounds, different religions, countries. Absolutely lovely. And then we decided that we would, because we had missed our train back, and I booked another hotel.
And you had not stayed at the hotel?
No, we didn't stay. We went to the hotel before we went to the theatre to get changed, but then packed our bags and said, well, you look after our bags because we don't think we're going to be back. And they were very nice about it. They got
paid to quickly let you get changed and look after the bags.
Then we booked another hotel, which was amazing to be able to book another hotel because there weren't very many around. It was on the other side of London. It was nothing. So after we'd been in the queue and we'd paid our respects and come out, we then had to go back to our hotel, pick up our bags, and then go all the way back over London to go to the other hotel, where we promptly had something to eat and just collapsed and slept through then till the next day.
Yeah, you went to bed at 5, didn't you?
Yeah, 5 in the afternoon.
Thinking, you just have a sleep for a little bit and then
go
out
for
dinner.
Get up and maybe have some tea.
What time did you get up, love?
7 o'clock the next morning.
That just explains just how tired you were.
And then we went to Hyde Park, watched it on the big screen, watched the ceremony on the big screen. We did see the tops of the heads of the horse guards going past to go up to pay their respects to the Hyde Park corner.
But you couldn't see a lot.
We didn't actually see the hearse go past. We knew she'd gone past because of the ripple of the applause in the crowd. We were about 8 people back. But we heard the ceremony and it was just lovely to be in a collective group of people who all felt the same way and were,
amazing,
from all over the country and the world.
And well done you for doing it. Like, it's if you're going to be in London on that weekend, then that tells you something.
Yeah, it does. Amazing.
It tells you something.
An experience.
And before this, you'd made this.
Yes.
So you knew you were all right.
Yeah,
because you just got to go away for the weekend. This is done. We're all okay. It's fine.
It's completely bonkers. Glenn's like, you know you're mad, don't you? I was like, yeah, but you love me. It's
yeah. I've not got to get back to finish my quilt. I finished it. It's all fine.
I did say to him at one point, you don't have to come and queue with me. And he was like, yeah, like I'm going to leave you in a queue in the middle of London on your own. He's so lovely.
Well, he's
put up with me.
Strong as well, isn't he? He does all his Iron Man stuff.
He does.
Look at these kits. Because we should,
Yeah,
because otherwise we'll digress and the boss is watching and she'll go, come on, girls, there's a demo to be done. Everyone wants to watch some sewing, not listen to you two gab. What we got, Jane?
We've got the kit that I did behind us.
Yes.
In the beautiful pinks and creams.
Yes.
Which, is any time.
Yeah.
Any time.
And that was based on the original pattern that we saw from Lisa. And these patterns are separate to the kits because some of you might want to buy multiple kits and make more than one. So we thought pattern and then kit separately.
Yeah.
But that's where that one came from, wasn't it, when you were choosing colours?
And then it's the same pattern, but Lisa's done it a different colourway. And she's used a jazzy fabric there with a gold, and it's lovely. Again,
how different
same.
it looks.
It looks completely different.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, why don't we go Christmas colours? Lisa's flowering gum in red
beautiful.
multi and in green, and then with some of our plain cream.
Amazing.
So in this one you've got Lisa's small floral, you've got some bumbleberries, and you've got some linen texture. So that emulates the colours in that one. We've gone a little bit different there just to give it a little bit more of a seasonal feel to it. So again, you could make this, bring it out each year as wall hanging, you know, the back of your sofa. It'd be lovely.
Perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really perfect. And there is a difference in the patterns, but it is minute. So the only reason you would need, say, this pattern rather than this one, because they are exactly the same until you get to the very, very, very end, is in the Melba version of the pattern. She explains how to do these tiny little floral accents here, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, Jane, we go up to yours, you didn't do.
No.
Because you liked it without anyway, didn't you?
I did, yes. And I thought, you
yeah.
know, I was on a little bit of a time constraint. We have just discussed why.
Yeah.
They're easy to do, and Natasha has demonstrated the flowers when she's done the Baltimore quilts.
Yes.
All the instructions, as always, are in the back of the pattern. Lisa explains it beautifully. If you get this pattern, you won't get the instructions for the little flowers.
No, exactly. So the little tiny
basic
flower bit, and let's go into a close-up actually just to show what we're on about, Jane, because, you know,
it's difficult
that
to see.
little tiny flower, there we go. So
you might see it better on my pattern, actually, because it hasn't got the cover
you're not in the, there we go.
There we are, they've even got the shiny cover there.
Yes.
Just tiny little flowers here, and if I open the pattern up while we've got the close-up, you can see there's the instructions of how to do that.
And that's something that Natasha has demonstrated on the Baltimore, but it's just a
it's
little
all
3D element.
The flower embellishment, all the instructions are there, and the diagrams are there. So it's very clear.
So if you think that you might want to add those little flower embellishments into your four corners of your cream sections and in the centre of the quilt, then it's the Melba version of the instructions that you'll want to get hold of. But otherwise, the instructions are identical. You don't need both.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's fair, isn't it?
It is, yeah,
Good.
absolutely. The quantities are the same, so if you wanted to do the flowers with the red and green, you've got the amount of fabric that you need to do both. So, you know, don't think, oh, if I want to do the red and green and have the flowers in, I haven't got enough fabric. You have. Everything is the same. The kits are the same quantity.
Yes. There we go. Just
I think
a slightly different
explained
technique.
It. Clear as mud. There we go. It is, it's called Twisted Log Cabin Wreath. It is based on the log cabin, curved log cabin, which you use wider strips and narrow strips, and it gives this curved effect.
We've had a question. Auntie Lizzie says, did you choose a wreath on purpose to commemorate the funeral? We didn't.
This is something,
this is something that we had got planned into our schedule, because we plan our schedules really, you know, far in advance. And yeah, it just happened to be. And we say happy accident, but yes,
no,
happy
not
given the
happy
circumstances.
is not probably the correct terminology.
No, Natasha's come out with the same phrase, so it's convenient accident.
Yes.
Appropriate accident. Look at these. Should we go into overhead and have a look at these blocks?
This I'm demonstrating in the now. Gemma was just saying earlier about my organisation or skills.
There we go.
You will see in the instructions. Mine, I've highlighted areas in mine.
Right, I'm going to try for about the 800th time now. Come on. There it is.
There we go.
Ta-da! Good-o.
Lisa's patterns are lovely, very explanatory, lots of diagrams to help you with working things out. As always, Lisa says, get a cup of tea, read through the instructions before you start. And I really do recommend that you read this through from beginning to end before you start, so that you are really fully aware of how it works. Because you've got the centre of the wreath, cutting instructions there, A to O. All the different size pieces and which colour you use. Now, there's a background off white and there's the ivory centre box. We have decided that actually it's probably easier to use the same fabric for the centres as it is for the background.
And that's what you've done with both of yours.
And I've done that with both of those. So the bumbleberries with the pink version and the plain ivory with the red-green version. So amalgamate these two together. This is for the centre wreath. You've got A to O on this one. When you come to do the borders, which sort of give the swags, you've got another set of instructions, and again they go A to U this time. So I cut all my fabrics, and I'd got some paper bags. So
Sweetie bags?
Yeah.
Sweetie bags?
Left over from when I had the shop. So I literally cut and labelled everything. That's my centre wreath part, bags. And then I've got my border, and I don't know if you can see, but I wrote border on here so that I know that that's A, it's red, that's the size of it, and that's for the border, so that I don't get it mixed up with bag A. And I'll put background block centre on there. But it would be easy. It would be very easy if you just cut them and put them out on your mat to maybe get confused as to which piece you were using next.
Because this isn't a complicated make. No. It's just a matter of being organised, isn't it, Jane?
It's definitely being organised.
When we looked at this and we were looking at, how long you'd need for your show prep, I even said to you, like, crikey, Jane, how long is this going to take? And you said, I will get this done really quickly. I just need to cut my pieces and have them organised, and this will come together quickly.
It did.
Yeah. And it did. You shocked us. Natasha and I both went, I beg your pardon. You've quilted it already and bound it and everything.
I got this. I started on Thursday morning and I'd got it finished. Admittedly, I was hand sewing the backing on while I was watching on the television on Friday evening. But that's that's not a chore really. Hand sewing your binding on. I love that bit. That's my favourite part.
Natasha's not a fan, but we do, don't we? It's a great excuse to put something on the telly and sit on my bottom, and I don't feel guilty.
And warm because you've got the quilt over your knee.
I know.
Snuggly.
Normally 2 Dachshunds underneath it as well.
Oh, lovely.
Really snuggly. So I have been known to nod off and then, needle, dogs,
working
quilt.
on this,
So these blocks are looking stunning. Look at those.
It's straightforward log cabin, and I'm going to go through the technique with log cabin in a moment. You've got 4 types of block. Again, you probably can't see it on here because it's written in pencil, but where I've got dark contrast pink, that's the plain pink, if you like, on mine, I've written that it's red, and where it says light feature floral, I've put that I'm using the green.
It's a good reminder, isn't
it?
So it
helps me to work it all out. It's a good visual instruction. If you know how to do log cabin, it's straightforward. There's some tips here about pressing the seams away from the centre, using the straight edge of your iron, not the point, so you don't distort the strips. And you make 4 blocks of each in the fabrics, colour coordinations. There's some very small pieces to start with. So I'm going to make another, what have I got here? I think I've got another corner one I'm doing. Yes, I am. I think I'm doing this one. We'll soon find out because I've only got enough left to do the one anyway. So you've got your 2 centre pieces. I think I'm doing this one. You've got your 2 centre pieces, you've got your centre, and then you've got the next one up. And depending on which block you're doing, you will find which piece goes next. And you'll have the right amount of pieces, and as I say, you've got to make 4 of each block. So it's just a case of putting the blocks together. Keep your seam as consistent as you possibly can. Try and be as accurate as you can. Because you've got small pieces, you only need to just be a little bit too wide on the one and it'll distort the whole thing.
So it's just about organisation and keeping your seams consistent.
I didn't bother ironing to start with. They're just such small pieces that finger pressing it is fine. Now, I work clockwise. So my next piece is going to go on my right hand side.
Oh, let's get that overhead over there.
This is going to be,
you've got your,
this is my centre.
And you've got it pressed back that way.
Press back that way away from the centre. the next piece on the right hand side. So I'm just going to line that up, and we'll just do the seam, just try and make sure they are quite fiddly. I wouldn't pin at this point because there really doesn't seem to be a need to, but if you feel more confident pinning, then yeah, please do.
They're very short seams, aren't they?
They're very short seams. This is why it comes together really quite quickly. And again, I just finger press that to the one side.
Sure.
So following this instruction, I'm doing block A. So I've got this piece, and this side piece now. So I've done A, B. I'm going to C, which is the larger piece, which goes at the bottom here. Now if we're talking going clockwise, that's my centre, that's the first piece, that's piece A, that's piece B, C. So we're still going clockwise round.
Excellent.
So that goes on there, and again,
I love the contrast of that cream next to the red and the green.
It's quite dramatic, isn't it?
It really is. And that's why we chose a plain for this one as well, because Lisa's prints are just so decadent, aren't they?
Yeah, they're luxurious.
Was absolutely what it needed.
Now by the time you get to the third piece on your log cabin, we can start invoking what we call the two seam rule, and this helps you with your orientation. So if we're looking at this now, that's our centre square.
Yes.
That's our first piece, our second piece, that's our third piece. We're still going round clockwise, but now we've got two seams to cover. So by the time you get your third piece, you're always going to be covering two seams.
And it's great when you get to this stage, isn't it? Because you suddenly go, right.
And you can start to see it.
Yes.
So this piece here, this is piece D, it's going to go across the two seams there. And from now on, we're always going to be covering two seams. This helps you make sure that you don't put it down the wrong way and start going clockwise in the opposite direction.
I had a right bee in my bonnet about the whole idea of a log cabin, because to me it did look really complicated. And it genuinely is just about getting that first bit right and then just applying that rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're just a series of short, straight seams. If you can sew a straight line and keep your wits about you to know where you're placing each piece in that early stage, you're fine, aren't you?
This is it.
And it gives such an amazing effect.
So now we've gone all the way around. We've got two narrow pieces and two wide pieces. So again, we're now going to piece E, which is an ivory piece. And that goes there, and you can see that's two seams. If I got confused and was thinking I was put it on this side, which it's the same size piece, it fits, but I've only got one seam.
You have.
So it's just, as we say, follow the two seam rule. So two seams there, edge to edge.
Fabulous. Oh, a lot of people chatting about the events of the weekend. Meg's popped up as well. I said, morning everybody. So Natasha's parenting my child for me. Why aren't you in class? Thanks, Tash. If anyone else can call Meg out if they ever see her and she's supposed to be at school. She is in sixth form. She's probably got a free period or something.
She's probably got some free time.
Just before we all think she's terrible and on the skive.
I don't think she'd be popping into Natasha Makes, would she, if she was skiving?
Hi. Pat says, you're well organised, Jane. You make it look easy.
It is all down to organisation, and I think, you know, if you can do it that way, and of course you don't have to do it all in one go.
Nope.
You can do this first bit, get that centrepiece together, feel that you're confident with that. You'll have learnt all the process while you're doing it, and then you can go on to the border piece.
If you haven't got bags, but you've got some scraps of paper, just grab your quilt clips and a scrap of paper and write it and clip them on. I mean, sticky labels is always a good idea until the sticky labels fall off. Natasha does that quite a bit. Yes. And then we all laugh at her.
So we're going to put our narrow strip on now. We're still going clockwise round. We've got two seams.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Oh, Claire Angelina says things happen for a reason. You know, but with us having the wreath and you being in London as well, you know. They do happen for a reason. Sylph says, what an amazing experience to queue and be there for the funeral. She'd have loved to have done it, but she can't stand for hours.
No. there were people there, and you just thought, gosh, are they going to manage for like... We knew when we joined the queue, they were telling us we were going to be there for 17 hours.
Yes.
So we knew
and
we
you
were
there
in
through
there
the night. Let's be clear on this. You know,
it was
been cold.
10:30 when we joined the queue. 10:30 at night. As I say, we came out of the theatre and went straight to Southwark Park and joined the queue. It was such a lovely atmosphere as well. It was, very, upbeat and people chatting, and we didn't stay with the same group of people the whole time, because there were toilets along the way, there were places to stop and have coffees and things, and we just kept dipping in and out. We got our wristbands, and they checked us several times to make sure that we should have been in the queue and that we were, we hadn't just joined it at halfway through.
Rightly so. It's important, isn't it?
It was lovely. There were people that had opened their houses and let people use their bathrooms. There were people that had set up little tables outside their houses, giving people cups of tea. There was a really lovely atmosphere. We went.
There were, weren't there? You were telling me there was people saying, "Oh, do you want a cup of tea?" I mean, there were thousands of people going past. That's a lot of cups of tea.
It was.
But bless them.
And the time we were going through as well, early hours of the day. It was just a lovely atmosphere, and we were going through residential areas, so people were keeping their voices quiet and being respectful. But there were people sitting on the balconies. There were people that were sitting on the balconies playing music, cheering us on and stuff like that. It was really lovely atmosphere.
Amazing.
We met policemen from all different areas of the country as well. There was the Welsh police force there, policemen from Manchester.
The whole country's been united over this,
absolutely.
haven't they? Silver was saying she's watched all the coverage from Balmoral to the service at Windsor. Same here,
Yes.
And she says it was impeccably executed and beautiful spectacle. It really was. She's also mentioned the Princess Royal, and I have to say that lady is just an incredible inspiration to me. She's phenomenal.
Yes. She's done her mum proud, hasn't she?
She really has. My friend actually had her out to their business. She does a lot of work on the quiet. She's very, very quietly, very busy, is the Princess Royal. But she went out to my friend's company over in, near Worcester. And she showed her around. So it was absolutely incredible. But she was very, very, very down to earth. Yes. There were lots of things they were supposed to, lots of protocols in place and all that kind of stuff. But she was just very easygoing. Yeah. Didn't want any airs and graces. She was just wonderful. Yeah, lovely. And she'd been with her mum the whole time, hadn't she? She really exactly
left her
that.
side.
And let's not.
No, we have to remember that she was
72.
Yeah.
And she walked miles, and absolutely, and the King as well.
Yeah, all of them.
Phenomenal, all of them. Absolutely. Very, very little time to grieve privately as well. It's incomprehensible to me. Amazing. So Claire Angelina's telly asked her 3 times if she was still there, because it had been on so long. I had the same,
Yes, I was just that saying, are you still watching?
Yep. Press any button to continue. Yep. Still here, just glued to the spot. And my wrist kept vibrating, saying you've been sitting for too long.
Yes,
get
up and move.
I know, but I'm not dragging myself away from this.
There were people handing out blankets. And then at the end, they were collecting the blankets up that they would then distribute between people that were sleeping on the streets. It was just really nice atmosphere. There were charities there, St John's Ambulance, Samaritans, other charities that were, again, giving out coffees and helping people should they need it.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I love the fact that our viewers have pointed out the wreath and the fact that it's so appropriate for this week.
Never really occurred to me, to be honest.
But you could put one of these together. I mean, gosh, to do some purple and perhaps do a commemorative one. Because there's space, isn't there? There is space on here that if you wanted to applique or add in.
Yeah, you could add borders to
initials and dates. You could, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
It'd be incredible, actually. Beautiful commemorative piece. Would be gorgeous.
So you'll make all your blocks. As I say, you need to make 4 of each type, and then you're going to put them together. And again, there's a grid here to follow. There's block A. This is block A. This one is block B, and this is block C. That's another block A. But block D I have done already. but I've started to put mine together here because of time and everything, to show you how it goes together. Yeah. So this one here has got the block 8. You're going to put them together.
I didn't know you'd got this much prep, lady. Look at that.
This is Izzy and I this morning. Izzy, bless her, she was pressing for me. I was like, Izzy, can you press this for me? She's been a real help to me this morning.
I know, I said to you this morning, I was like, shall I go and sit in the corner while you press? No, you stay there next to me, Gemma, you can do some pressing. I've done no pressing.
Not yet,
I've just stood here pressing buttons and gabbing. Pressing of buttons is all I've done, not seams.
So looking at the layout here, this is how this is going to go together. So we'll get those sewn together. Again, I sewed them into pairs and then the pairs into 4s. There's a little bit of seam matching there, along that seam there. I would just pop a pin in along that seam. I can move these out of the way now.
Have you got one? Have you got a pin?
I don't know where the pin cushion is.
Oh, she's done that thing, you know, where she's just gone skedaddling away. I'm in the overhead at the moment, Jane. I'm going to grab you a pin. I know there will be one somewhere. Natasha, you took all the things in all the world with you to Cornwall, eh?
Not to worry. Not to worry.
I thought I'd seen a couple of rogue pins.
Yeah, I've got this. I think if I use my finger, I can stop it moving.
Well, we're about to find out whether
if it just slips slightly.
Stitchy Witchy magical finger is going to act as a pin for her. Julia says she's always had a lot of respect for Princess Anne ever since she told someone to off.
Yes.
She's no nonsense though.
No, she doesn't. And she doesn't suffer fools, does she?
She doesn't.
Yeah.
No, she's just this fantastically stoical, brilliant woman. Love it.
Amazing role model.
Yes.
You know, like the Queen.
Oh, and this is the thing, isn't it?
For girls to see women in leadership roles like that, just
I do think certain role models, quotation marks, in modern society are quite questionable.
Yes.
But yeah, strong women like that, blimey.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just making sure that I've got them in the right orientation regarding the pattern before I sew the pairs together. I think that's quite important. Just keep checking that you've got the right, you're in the right place with everything.
I adore this. This is so Christmassy as well.
It is.
Isn't it amazing how different it can be?
Yeah, it gives a really lovely effect, doesn't it?
I really want to see one in purple and gold perhaps now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Well, when this new fabric came in, I thought you could do a really dramatic one with those fabrics. Oh,
wow, yes. Yes, you really could. The thing is, Jane has her own pins. She does have her own pins.
I do have my own
pins. I know, but
pins.
she's left them in her room, Natasha, and we don't normally have to remember these things.
I've got so used to them being in the studio. I will be, next time I shall be better prepared. So we've got the rows made, and then we'll join the rows together in pairs, and then we'll join those pairs together.
Marvellous. Without pins. We do have quilt clips, I'm sure. There'll be some lurking.
Yeah, they'll be fine. The thing is, with this, there isn't very much seam matching anyway.
No.
It's just, when you're joining your blocks, just make sure that you've got your seams of your blocks matched up. That's the main thing.
Oh, Julia's popped up. She's suddenly woken up with the word purple being mentioned. Yes, Julia. Wouldn't it be fabulous in purple and gold for Her Majesty? I think that would be incredible. Jimmy's saying you could modify this for placemats. Log Cabin does make a fabulous placemat.
It does, absolutely.
It really does. And you've got some real structure there as well because of how many seams there are, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd use a little bit of insulated wadding as well if I'm doing placemats because I do like to put hot dishes down on my table.
Yeah, and it's perfect. The insulating wadding would work wonderfully.
Oh, boss, you do spoilers. She says, let's go crazy and crack open another pot of pins. I tell you. Crazy, crazy words, that. Next, we'll be going down the cafe and buying a jacket spud. Woo, Jane!
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's been jacket spud weather, hasn't it?
It has, definitely. So
There we go.
We've got the two there, and then we'll just join the two rows together to make the centre.
This is a shocker. Bronwyn says, watching the live feed of Lying in State, and I saw a double of Jane. Not so, it was the real deal.
You saw me? My mum was looking. My mum was looking and missed me.
Oh, Kate. Well, Bronwyn reckons she saw you.
Oh, right.
Amazing. Oh, phenomenal.
We were just in awe of the whole thing, the organisation, everything. Well, you know, it's what we do best, isn't it?
Nobody
really?
does pomp and ceremony like we do either.
No, absolutely not.
It's just...
We've got the history, haven't we? This
Amazing.
is the thing. There's the whole history of our military and everything, and the generational way things have been done. You know, it's just...
Yeah.
Couldn't have been prouder, to be honest with you, and meeting lots of people, you know, from around the country who were saying the same thing, and people that had come from overseas that were saying the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, watching the Navy with the state gun carriage and those amazing chaps as well. Can you imagine the pressure of lifting the Queen and carrying her into those services and back out again? I mean, they were just amazing.
They were
absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
I've never been more nervous for chaps that I don't know in my life, but also proud of them. I mean, just
that's
what an
the
honour.
centre.
Oh wow! Look at that.
So you've got your centre. Now the next piece is
on its own. That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? That would make a
on
beautiful
its own
table centre, just hanging. You could just put the borders on.
I love that.
There's an additional border that goes just above this and on the sides.
This one, Jane?
It's not, there's another extra piece.
Ah.
So it's not just a plain border, because there is a plain border that goes on, but there's another section which I'm just going to demonstrate for you. And again, this is why I say read through the whole set of instructions first, because you'll start doing the wreath and you'll think, hang on, I've got some bits left over here. Why have I got these bits? Oh my God, I've made it wrong. What have I missed out? You haven't. You've got these borders.
Amazing.
So there are some of the pieces that you will have had cut from the first part, and it's just a case of adding the two sections onto there, adding that piece on, and then you've got two wider pieces here and here.
Kind of points to these parts, isn't it? I see it, Jane.
So it again, and Elixir explains this in her instructions. You'll sew those two pieces onto the end there, and then you'll sew that piece on, and then you'll sew your two end pieces on. The two end pieces are two different sizes, purely because, and I'm not going to make this because I have done some demo now, and I think we've got to the point now where we're just going to sort of like lay it out. So you'll have two pieces with the long parts on, like so, and two with the shorter pieces. So you'll have two like that and two like that. Now you put the short ones on first, and you can see then that brings the wreath, carries on the shape round. And once you've got the top and the bottom on, then you put the side pieces on.
Okay.
Like so. And that is your wreath centre, and then you've got a plain cream.
Then you've got the bit I could see. Marvellous.
And again, those pieces, I was going to say Natasha then. Lisa gives you the sizes that you need. So you've got the two for top and bottom.
So top and bottom, then the sides, top and bottom, then the sides.
Yeah. So you've got all of that. It just carries on going.
Yes.
Joining it together.
Jane, I want to put lights in this.
You could do it. You could do that as well.
You so could.
Absolutely. So you'd have that piece there and then that piece there. So that carries that on, going round.
Beautiful.
Once you've got those pieces on, you're then going to start and cut. Oh, there's another border actually. Then there's a thin border of your dark contrast fabric. I haven't cut these pieces, I just cut the width of fabric just to show. So then that will go on there, and there'll be a piece that goes on the sides as well. So that's the frame of the middle of the wreath. And then you get to your outer border cutting requirements. So you're going to start again with your cutting, and you're going to start making the next border.
And where you've got to here, it's just a lovely size, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you could have, bound effectively with this, and then that would make a nice size mat.
Yeah.
For
table centre, hanger, hanging, whatever you wish.
Love it.
So I'm just going to pop those pieces on there so that you can see how that's now starting to come together.
You're getting some love, Jane.
Oh,
Jane,
thank
that
you.
looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, see?
It's not me, it's Lisa, isn't it?
Well,
It's her
no,
beautiful
but you've put it together. Apparently, said coffin weighed 50 stone.
Wow. Because it's lead lined, isn't it? It's lead lined.
It is, yeah. And this is what I kept saying. These chaps are picking this up, and just no strain in their faces, just absolute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, amazing. Amazing they were.
So we've got the side blocks now, the side border blocks. You're going to have to make, again, you're going to need to make eight. 8 of the left and 8 of the right. But there's an additional piece that you add on to 4 of them.
Okay.
So I need to just, because it doesn't go ABC like it did with the other one. So you just need to follow the instructions that Lisa gives you.
Read the instructions and do as you're told, Jane.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're doing it.
So we need a piece of H. I'll do the 2. I'll do one of left and one of right. So we need 2 of those, and we need piece D. There's a lot of rustling going on. I'd forgotten how crinkly these bags were.
Oh, nice though. Does make me want some sweeties.
Yes.
There's no tuck shop here on the business park, is there?
No, that's a good job.
The calf will have to suffice. Yeah. Can you imagine if there was a tuck shop?
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
We'd leave.
We'd be here all the time.
We'd have no teeth.
We wouldn't.
We'd have no teeth left.
So all of the H and D pieces, they all go together the same way. You're just sewing them together. Again, it's a short seam. I don't really see that you would need to pin it, but you might feel that you wanted to. And again, there's no right wrong. If you feel you want to pin it, then you pin it. I'm going to sneeze. I'm not.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes.
It's nice little warning, just in case.
Just in case I went.
Do you want me to flick your mic onto mute? Give me a good old, warning if you do. Oh, Claire Angelina likes both colours, but this one's just pipping it for her, I think. She likes this one better.
I think we're all starting to just maybe start to think a little bit about Christmas now, aren't we? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So now we're going to put...
Is that what you're saying, Jane?
Yeah, piece C onto the sides. Now this is where you need to think about your left and your right, because you're going to have them on opposite sides. So one has to go on that side and one has to go on this side, the other side. So one goes on the right, one goes on the left. And you have to remember that you're doing 8 of the one and 8 of the other. So you might want to do all of your left-hand side ones first and then do all your right-hand ones, just so that you don't start to get confused, because it's very easy. And you see I've got these the wrong way around.
That was just to make everyone notice, Jane.
That's the right and that's the left. So they go that way. That's left hand, that's right hand. The block C goes on the inside part.
Excellent.
So we're going to sew those on. And it's very similar to the log cabin in so much as you're sewing pieces on, but you're just sewing to the sides this time rather than going around in a clockwise way. So you can see now.
Oh, Carrie Marrow. She says, oh my gosh, I'm late to the party and I'm loving this pattern. It's Elixir Chandler.
Yeah.
It's Elixir Chandler. We've got fabric kits in this colourway and a pink. If you bear with, we'll show you the one in the background in a minute.
So now we're going to put piece F on the top. So we've sewn to the sides and now this piece goes above.
Perfect.
We're on this piece here. So we can do that on both of those. You might want to press as you go to flatten your seam. I actually found it easier not to. I pressed my blocks once I'd finished. I did finger press the seams to make them flat before I started sewing them, but again, marvellous. That's a personal choice and there is no, you know, there's no hard and fast rules about whatever makes you feel comfortable as you're working.
And I'm just going to very quickly pull the front camera up just so that we can show that pink colourway for anyone who hasn't been with us from the start.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is beautiful, absolutely. So we've got the small floral here, Elixir Chandler. We've got an amazing linen texture in orchid, which just complements that whole range really well, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
all the Melbas, it looks beautiful with. And then this actually here is a Lewis and Irene Bumbleberry in cream. And when you're close to it, you get that texture from it as well. Really nice subtle texture. Beautiful.
And then we're going again with the side pieces, but we've got to join these two pieces before we join them on. So we've got D and G.
Oh, Carrie's saying she feels that planning and pre-cut organisation is simply a must. Yes, we have said that actually. It's the one thing that Jane did say. It's a really straightforward make, but...
Yeah, I think the planning, the preparation and having everything in a fashion so that you can see easily which piece goes where.
Carrie, the finished size of this is 42 by 42. There are two patterns. They are broadly the same. So you'll see there's one that's Elixir Chandler Designs and one that's Melba. 90% of the pattern is identical, so all the way through. The only thing that differs is on the very final stage of the Melba one, there are instructions on how to create these little floral 3D details in the four corners in the centre, which Jane didn't put in hers. I'm going to just grab your pattern, Jane, for a very quick second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to cause chaos, you know, because you're not trying to do a demo or anything.
You're fine.
This one here, so you can see there are these little floral 3D detail. It explains in the Melba version how to do that. It doesn't explain it in the other one. But otherwise, all the construction's the same and the kits are the same.
So we've joined that piece onto the G and we're going to put those onto the side. Again, just referring back to our instructions to make sure that they're on the right sides of the pieces that we're making, because they are in mirror image. And as I said before, I think, you know, if you're doing this at home, you'll do the one side, all of the one side first, and then you'll do all of the other side. I think would be a lot easier way of doing it, just so that you don't get muddled and you know exactly where you are.
Oh, a lot of these bolt ends have disappeared as quickly as they've been loaded. Well done to you if you got hold of those, because they are beautiful today.
There are some stunning, lots of fabric in there.
And it's such a great way to build your stash. We are looking at, you know, 25% off on most of these.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So now we're going to put piece B onto the side.
I'm going to break it to you, Jane, that the O'Deal ones have gone. You know, just in case. Yeah. Just in case.
Yes.
You were having that in the back of your mind.
So we're going to put those pieces on there. You'll start to see how the pieces fit And if you pick up the wrong piece and it doesn't fit, it's just a case of just go back, look at the pattern, just check your sizing, and then you'll realise you've just picked up the wrong piece.
Yes.
So that's that piece there.
So methodical, this. I don't know why I sound surprised. Quite often quilting is methodical. Piecing is methodical.
Now
but
you see, I've sewn that onto the wrong side. I bet there were people shouting at the camera going, Jane, that's the wrong side.
Well, I haven't seen them. No one's been shouting here, Jane.
Let's quickly unpick that.
But, you know, we don't panic, do we, Jane?
No.
These things happen and it's all fine.
This is why I say, you know, you probably want to do all the left-hand side ones first and then go on to the right-hand side, because it is very easy to sort of pick up the wrong, well, not the wrong piece, but sew it to the wrong side.
Yes. But that's okay.
Yeah.
And if that happens, this is
It's
what you
not
do.
a long, it's not, you know, it's not a huge amount to unpick really. It's one small seam.
Just having a little look over on YouTube, Jane, to see who's with us over there.
All right.
Ali says, good morning, sorting my scraps before I'm overwhelmed. I'm loving the Guinevere look, Gemma. Oh, you know, I hadn't even twigged that. Just in my wafty dress for great comfort. Diane says, morning, lovelies.
So we've got those side pieces on then, and then we're going to put the piece that goes across the top, which on this pattern is piece E. So we've got the pieces in here. There we go, piece E. I'm just trying to make sure that I put them back in the order so it makes it easier if they're all in the right order alphabetically.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Got a new viewer over on YouTube as well. It says, checking out your channel. Welcome. And Cynthia from Southwest Ohio is with us as well. She says her first quilt was a log cabin. Favourite because it's such a versatile block with most variety of layouts.
It is. Because
it's loving the wreath. Absolutely loving the wreath.
Log cabin boils down to being half square triangles at the end of the day. Whether they're curved half square triangles or whether they're just straightforward. So any pattern that you see with half square triangles you can do with log cabin blocks.
Quite.
It gives a nice variety. It's a great way of using up scraps, log cabin as well. I'm similar. That was the very first quilt I did, was a log cabin.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was a cushion, it wasn't a quilt. I was 15 when I did my first piece of patchwork. I'm going to tell you how many years ago that is.
Just a few, Jane. You are a slip of a girl.
Just yesterday.
Yes. Oh, Jimmy's saying he's liking how clearly described it is. Well, we always do try.
We try our best.
Jane always tries to describe things for, you know, if people couldn't see what we were doing, that they'd understand from what was being said, and the same with the instructions. So
I'm going to ask you now, Gems, if you wouldn't mind pressing those for me. Just
gosh, that whole reason you had me here, Jane.
Having you stand by me. Stand by me.
Yes.
So once you've got those blocks made, you've got to just make some little sashing strip pieces that go in to the sides to join those blocks together, and they're here. And again, it's the construction is there, and it shows you how to put those together. So I'm just going to make those sashing pieces now. Just to do the one strip. So I'm just going to do sashing strip side. It's the side sashing C. That's a lot of scissors. Side sashing C. We need to have the pieces that we've cut. Just find the right letter. JK. Just remember my alphabet. L.
Oh, do you know? It's amazing, isn't it, how we have to sort of recite the alphabet to make sure we know it properly.
And then we've got pieces I, which are the green pieces. So I'll do 2 of those.
I just can't believe the difference in how this looks when it's coming together versus the one on the wall. It's fabulous.
It is amazing, really, when you stop and think about it.
But you could feature lots of your different prints in this. You know, there's so many options, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And every one you made would look different. Love it.
I'm just looking at this because we've got 2.
What you missing?
That says maybe that should be L.
And so have you left a bag?
No, I'm just trying to remember which. Maybe that's. We'll get there. We'll do what we've got to do first, and then we'll find out which piece it is that I've mislabeled it. I think it's L. That should be a capital L rather than a small letter.
Ah.
I'm thinking. Yeah, they're 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. We'll get there, and we'll do that. We'll do these side sashing pieces first, and then we'll do the centre one. We can
okie doke
sort that out. I think as you make this and as you go along, you get to know, because you get to the point where there's only those pieces left.
Oh, Claire Angelina's offered to try and find you on the live stream at Westminster Hall, Jane, saying what time and day did you get to Westminster Hall?
We were there on Sunday around about 11:30, I think it was, by the time we actually got into Westminster Hall.
In the morning?
In the morning, yeah.
Having queued through the night. Did it get really cold?
Not too bad, actually. We did come to a standstill when we were opposite St Paul's on the embankment. We were on the opposite side of the River Thames from St Paul's, so it wasn't such a terrible place to be standing with a view. And the rumours were that they were having a bit of a rehearsal and doing a bit of cleaning, which is why they'd stopped. They held the queue up, but also under Blackfriars Bridge, it was going down to single file, so that had also formed a bit of a bottleneck. Right. So we did have to stand, and it was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning by that time, and we were all getting a little bit sort of tired. But it wasn't, we were chatting and keeping each other company, so it wasn't too bad. Right, so for the centre sashing piece, we need an M. You're going to have to make 4 of these, obviously, because you've got 4 sides, but I'm just doing the one side just to show you what it will look like. And a K. Now then. That says it's an I, but I don't know.
Had you been on the gin, Jane?
I must have been. I'm looking at this, and that doesn't correspond with that, so I'm just wondering if there's another. I mean, I made this once.
She's made this once, can we just point that out? But she has had a weekend in London and perhaps depleted amounts of sleep since then.
I'm just wondering if I've got an I piece left over in my other bag. I need a piece. Oops.
Have you missed a piece?
There must be. It says I on it, but obviously the I is not the right size piece for what goes there. So I'm just looking at that, and it's got to be a 2. It's 2 centimetres. I'm wondering if it's. Of course, I will have done this. I will have done this in a methodical order when I came to do it, and probably not paid much attention.
Autopilot.
Yeah, because I would have just had the pieces left over. There's a green piece that's 2 inches by something that goes across the top of that. I think it's a 2 inch by. It can't be very big. I'm wondering if it's that piece. Yeah, I think it's that piece. Let's put that piece on. That's a H. That's worth
You think there's a little typo?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll just have a look at
Well, we will methodically work that out.
We could have a look at the other set of instructions and see whether it says the same thing. And then that's the centre sashing piece, and those are the side sashing pieces. And then we're going to need to make the corner block. Now the corner block looks like it's log cabin.
It does.
But it isn't actually.
Oh.
It's courthouse step, which is
I
the
beg
same.
your pardon, Jane.
It's courthouse step, which is the same family as log cabin, but the construction is slightly different.
I can see.
So we're going to need a K.
It doesn't go round.
It doesn't go round in a clockwise situation.
Ah, and yet to an untrained eye, mine, at a quick glance,
it looks like it is. It's fascinating, really, when you stop and start looking at all the ways that you can do types of log cabin. There's so many different variations, from the curved log cabin that gives you all those options. So we're going to join a K and an R together, just to make the centre part. Going to move those sashing strips up and out of the way so that we can have this on the mat so that we can see it easily.
Lovely.
And now we need a Q and an S. And one is wide and one is narrow, and it's your pattern and your contrast, they call it in the pattern. And you're going to sew those either side. So you can see straight away from when we were doing a log cabin, we were going round. We're just opposite sides this time.
Okay. So just making sure you get the right sides for those two.
Yeah, just make sure that you've got those first two blocks, which are the same size that you've joined together, those two pieces that make the centre. Just make sure you've got them the right way up before you start joining the sides on.
Yes.
Because otherwise they'll be joined to the wrong side. And then you'll wonder why it doesn't sit properly in the pattern. So there's lots of elements to this pattern. But it's a really nice, it's straightforward. There's lots of parts to make for it, but it does come together quite quickly.
Though.
Yes.
Really satisfying.
And it's quite a quick make. I felt it was quick.
Well, it certainly was. Because normally at the point where you'd send me a picture of a quilt top that hasn't yet been quilted and bound, you were sending me a picture of a completed quilt with all its quilting and binding and everything done.
Yes. Yeah. There's my peas gone, lost my pea. Tea somewhere.
Ah, Jane.
Because I've had it already.
It's that whole thing we've been doing. I will keep everything very organised. The thing is, you've moved from your workroom to here.
Yes.
And that's lethal, isn't it? This is one of
it
those.
Might be underneath.
Lay it out. And you've had to have them under the desk and then bring them out from the top of the desk.
Well, I thought I'd seen teas already on here, but obviously that's
probably in your workroom or been dropped on the warehouse floor on the way.
Yeah, possibly.
So something we can do?
Oh, there it is. It's just hiding. So
I take it back. It was there all the time.
It was there all the time. And we need a tea.
I mean, or coffee, Jane.
Yes.
I'd take either right now.
Yeah.
You watch
Absolutely.
it. Let's see if the team are listening, shall we? Busy sticks her head through that door and says, "Sorry, did someone want to bring?" Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. So now we've got the sides on, we're going to put the top and the bottom on.
Lovely.
So, as I said, with this courthouse step style, this is where you join sides and then tops.
And you are now putting your pieces against two seams.
Yes.
Like you did with your log
Absolutely.
cabin.
It is the same thing.
Gotcha. Every day's a school day here, Jane.
We try our best.
Courthouse steps. I do wonder where they get some of the names from.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll find with some of the older patterns, it's the same pattern, but it's got a different name in a different state of America. You know, they'll have called it something different, but it's actually exactly the same.
Which is confusing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like with crocheters. You get double crochet and single crochet, and in America it's different.
Yes.
That confuses people a lot. But terms do change, don't they, from country to country?
Absolutely. So that's those two sides, and then we're going to put the last two sides on. So O and U.
Oh, you.
Oh, you.
Oh, you. I tell you, I keep seeing things flash up on my phone. Bolt ends, bolt ends. Izzy's busy. She's a busy Izzy.
Yes, she is.
She is
Call her
going
Wizzy
through.
Izzy. And she really is.
We don't always get time to sort through and find new bolt ends, but we have had that new fabric arrive yesterday. We know when our deliveries are due in broadly. And yeah, it's a case of, where's that going to go then?
We've got to make space. We are limited, amazingly enough. It's so funny because we've only been in the warehouse just over a year, and already we're like
capacity.
When I helped Natasha move over here, we were like, wow, there's going to be so much space. We can do so much in here. Yeah. And now we're like, we need to make space.
I think I was the irritating voice of reason that said, we'll fill this really quickly. You'll be surprised. And everyone went, poof.
Yeah.
Shush,
Gemma,
Gemma,
we'll be able to do loads.
I knew.
Yeah. She knows these things.
I do know these things. I know Natasha's capacity for purchasing. She likes the beautiful things.
Well, we're all a bit like that.
Well, exactly.
We like the beautiful things, and we know you like the beautiful things too. So we've got that there, and then we're just going to put one strip along the top there just to finish it off. So there's two of each colour. And that one strip that goes across there is letter N. A
lovely green one.
And that's there. So that one sits on top of there like so. And we'll just pop that on.
I now have really got the munchies for some sweets. I'll tell you what I have, Jane, if I got the choice, if we're going to the sweet shop.
Yeah. I
really fancy some of those sugary jellies, like slightly sour peaches.
Oh, yes.
What would you be after?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Do you know, because I like baking, I've got quite a few, surprise, bakery Facebook pages I follow.
Oh, of course.
And there was a lady the other day, and she'd made this cake for this lady, and she'd put all like the penny sweets that we used to have as children. Oh. And you know the flying saucers, the rice paper with the sherbet in? She put those all round the outside edge, but in an ombre of colours.
I'd expected those to start disintegrating.
Well, I thought that, but it's
okay,
just like,
not just me.
Do you mind pressing that for me?
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
So I'm just going to move this up slightly out of the way, and then I can show you how this border will sit on here. You will need to make 4 of the corner blocks, obviously, that's block E. And then this border goes together quite quickly. You've got your centre sashing piece there. If I put this, let's just move that a little bit further up and out of the way. Move that there. So you can see how that centre reef there. This is the border block. You've got your centre sashing piece there, and then you've got the bordered squares that you've made without the extra piece on. They go either side. And then you've got your 2 pieces of side sashing that go on.
Oh, it's so clever, isn't it?
It is. It's really clever how
so
together.
Complex, and I love it when you see all those little component parts that aren't complicated, placed correctly.
And then these are the blocks.
Amazing.
The border blocks, but they've got the additional piece of the A on. That creates that. Now you will stop. You'll make 4 like that.
Yes.
2 of them you will place at the top and the bottom of your wreath. And I'm just going to turn this around now because this is the bottom of our wreath, and so it will go like so.
Oh wow.
On here. So that would be how it would look against there. And then the other 2 pieces you're going to put your corner on. So one will go that way and one will go that way.
Hang on.
So
does that one go?
Yeah, it goes the other way round.
Yeah.
Look, Jane,
I'm learning, Jane, and paying attention.
Well done, Gemma.
She does this, you see.
Just to keep you on your toes.
I am the sorcerer's apprentice.
So then your corner pieces will go, you'll have 2, one that goes that side and one that goes that side.
Yes.
So once you've sewn this border onto the top and bottom, your side pieces with your corner pieces on will go each side, and you will have the wreath carrying itself round there.
I just love the movement you get in this quilt. It's just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And I just felt that looked like the swags of I chose to have the green that way because I did contemplate having it the other way around. Yes. But I actually thought that looks like the swags of garlands that you would have.
Yes, if you imagine it the other way up from the top, it would look like the evergreen, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's, if we look at the one behind us, she says, come on.
You can see how that goes.
There it is.
So your green will be like this here, which would give that sort of swags.
Gorgeous.
If you were thinking of it as a sort of Christmassy.
Which we are, Jane.
Yeah.
Because we always are, Jane.
We always look Christmas.
Christmas
quilts are the best.
Amazing. I love it.
So you can see it's a pretty simple make. The biggest thing is your organisational skills.
Yes.
Having everything pieced together, and you can see even then it was.
But you've put a lot of this together during the show this morning.
Yes.
We've seen how each block comes together really quickly, and then you'd got some that you'd whizzed up, and it was just this morning before the show.
Yeah.
But this,
I had got all the pieces cut before I came,
yes,
and then
I
put
the
middle bit.
Sewing.
I got that done this morning before we came to air. So yeah, and it does. It comes together beautifully. It all fits really nicely, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is it just?
It's a great choice of fabric.
It's always Lisa's patterns. Yeah. Everything always just comes together just nicely, so that you've always got. She's done all the working out and all the maths of it. So
it's a brilliant choice of fabric there as well, Jane. Yes, Lisa's pattern, but you've chosen these beautiful fabrics of Lisa's. And what I really like about the flowering gum is, yes, you're chopping it and turning it in all different orientations, but it's a great print for this.
It's a great print
because it just flows.
Yeah, because it's not directional, so you don't have to worry about how you're cutting your strips or anything like that.
There's no disjointedness. It just.
And we've bound it. We've chosen the green for the binding, so the binding will go against the green edge, so it won't detract from it.
No, it will just enhance it, won't it? Which will look great. Oh, you're so clever. Do you know, Claire Angelina's busily squirreling away. She's on that stream trying to see if she can get you to get an image / video / whatever. Thank you. We're very lucky, aren't we?
My death warmed up because I'm so tired by that.
Well, she'd have been up all night. Just a little warmth, perhaps, add to the imagery. I can do that afterwards, Jane. It's fine. We do have these kits. They are available. It's a lovely make. It's a really lovely make. Thank you, Jane, for taking the time to do that so beautifully.
A lovely pattern from Lisa, it really is. So
and a really
combination of the
demo.
two. Yeah.
So and these demos exist forevermore. You can always come back to the website or to YouTube and find these and watch them back. So if you buy this project and want to do it further down the line, you can find it. It'll be there. Yeah. So that's great. But we have the 2 colourways. They are available. We do have the deal on the fabric, cut to order fabrics until midnight. I can't stress that enough. I have extended it until midnight tonight. I can't do it again. I will be shot or sacked or something. But it really was supposed to be for the weekend and Monday. But if you're buying a 1/2 metre of fabric and you use the code, you're going to get 5% off, 2, 3, etc. And it's an incremental discount. Details are all on the website. You'll see SJ's created codes depending on how many half meters you're buying. If you are buying 6 half meters of cut to order fabric from our full price range, there's only a few exclusions, but you will be able to put a code on to get 20% off until midnight. That includes our plains, that includes our velvets, that includes our Lisa Chandler, our Moda, our Lewis and Irene. It includes our canvases. Brilliant. We have so much available there. So if you're wanting to buy backing fabrics, if you're wanting to be able to just add to your stash, perhaps you've got a plain subscription and you've seen these plains coming through and you think, these are really lovely and they'd be really useful because they go with a lot of my fabrics.
Yeah.
You just want to stash build, buy a metre of this and a metre of that. You can do that as well. Please don't message me tomorrow saying you missed it, because I won't be able to do anything about it and it would just make me sad.
Yeah.
So don't forget that today. The Half Metre Heavens go live at midnight. Natasha's back with us next week. She'll have live shows for you Monday and Tuesday. You'll be back on the Wednesday with me.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely. But in the interim, do not forget, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m, over on the website, natashamakes.com, go up to the Watch Live page and you will see myself and John with some quilters grid, some fabulous Tilda fabrics.
Yes. Having
a whale of a time at gin o'clock, 6:30.
Wonderful.
6:30.
You'll enjoy that.
SJ will be in contact on Friday with a newsletter. We don't let you get lonely, do we? Hey?
Absolutely.
We're always around.
Yes. Keep your eye out for the newsletter on Friday.
Absolutely. Yes. She's a busy girl, that SJ, I tell you.
Is.
And the bolt ends are getting loaded up. You'll find those on the fabric clearance page. Whenever we update those, that's where they go.
Wonderful.
I think I've mentioned it all, Jane. I need to lie down.
Yes, I think we do, don't we?
And if you need a good giggle and you missed yesterday's show, catch that one up, because Tash came out with an absolute corker and I couldn't stop laughing about it for hours. Just check we haven't missed anything important. It's all good. Oh, Leslie says, I've got a metre of yellow and a metre of red flowering gum multi that I've had forever in my stash. Would this pattern work if I bought another half metre of something to go with it, or do I need the 1.6 metres of the same of one of them?
Let's have a look at quantities.
Yes.
The background off-white, you need 3/4 metre, so you'd have to order 2 units from us.
Yes.
The dark fabric, which I have considered to be the contrast, which is the red on mine, it's 1 1/4 metres, so you'd have to order 3 units from us. And the light fabric, which is the green on this one, is a yard, which is a metre, 2 units. So yeah, you would do it. You would need an additional 30 centimetres for your binding. So whichever one you want to do for your binding, just add another unit on.
Yeah. Your background's 3/4 metre, but then you've also got your block centre that's a 10 centimetre piece, haven't you? So it's 85 centimetres. So if you consider your background and your centre as being a metre, you've got more in your stash.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, if that helps. I hope it helps.
Yes.
If it doesn't help and it's clear as mud, pop us an email across at info@natashamakes. Jane and I'll go and get a jacket potato. She'll pick that up this afternoon and then she'll type it out so it does make sense.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair enough.
Lovely to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we send you lots of love and thanks for supporting our small business. And we'll see you next week. In fact, you'll see me pre-recorded tomorrow night, should you choose, with John.
Lovely. That'll be fun.
It will. It will indeed. It's always fun with John.
Yes, absolutely.
You never know what's around the corner with him, do you?
Absolutely. He's a menace.
Lots of love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.